All right, Underground Avengers. How has tour been so far?
Good. It's been nice. Shows have been dope.
Yeah.
Crowds have been energetic so far. So I mean, we've been having a good time.
Right.
Took us a little while to get, good with each other since we've never toured together. But I think we kind of found our fucking groove, and so shows have been fun.
Right on.
Yeah, tour's been dope, man.
Fan reception's obviously been really good. I mean, you guys are now chart toppers, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah, the fan reception's been amazing.
Right.
I mean, first time touring, and not just that, but just, everybody wanting, the first EP came out like 6 years ago, so everybody's been asking for, something new since then, and it just came out, and then, a few months later we're on tour, so, everybody's kind of getting bombarded with first the announcement, and then the album, and then, tour on top of it. Now we've got 4 back-to-back brand new videos coming out, which we've already dropped. The first one for Bring the Blood came out 4 or 5 days ago, and basically we're going to drop a new video about every 2.5 to 3 weeks, and all 4 videos go together like one long thing.
One thing I noticed, like obviously that's your song, like your solo song you did on that one. Is that how each one's going to be?
No,
Okay.
just the reason why we started that originally was Boondox and Claas were not. They were basically going to come down a week before tour started so we could get the videos knocked out. And Bring the Blood got such a good response that the guy filming the videos was like, dude, it's getting such a good response. Like, why don't we do a video for it before they get down? Just, it's still one more song pushing it. And we were actually going to drop it a lot sooner, but all the days that we had scheduled for shooting for it, there was the aftermath of the hurricane shit from, down on the coast. So the weather was like real windy and super rainy on all of our days that we were going to film it. So we ended up shooting it like 3 or 4 days before they got down here. So we ended up including a scene at the beginning of it where Boondox and Claas were actually in the video, but we came up with a way that all the videos were going to be tied together. And at the end of the Bring the Blood video, there's a black case that gets dug up. We're digging a hole for a body, and there's this case that gets found that kind of spins the whole storyline of the rest of the videos, which is we've already seen. Yet we're not going to talk about what videos, but one of the videos, the last one is already done, and Claas and I got to see that the other night. That's pretty damn awesome.
Yeah, it came out really good.
But
it is gonna be dope.
But he got that one finished because that was the most simple. The next 2 are very, very complex videos, and a lot of acting and lines and just a lot of stuff going on.
The whole storyline.
Yeah.
Right on. Okay, so obviously we've interviewed Claas quite a few times at this point. The last time we interviewed him, we asked him some very serious questions, right? So I want to throw a very serious question your way, okay? 20 seconds, how many Marvel villains can you name?
20 seconds.
And go.
Galactus, Magneto, Thanos, Dr. Doom,
Shit catches you off guard.
yeah, you got me off guard big time.
They asked me about fucking fish.
Bookshot can name 4 Marvel villains in 20 seconds. Wow!
If you give me 10 minutes, I could give you 50 if I write them down.
They asked me about fish, bro. Like, I don't fucking know. Like, fish sticks,
Right.
chicken planks from Long John Silver's.
Okay, so obviously, I mean, y'all been around now for a minute, I'd say, far concerning from the first album to now. Obviously, we all know this is your first tour together. So the 3 of y'all, have y'all grown like closer because of it?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, more so with being on tour together. You know, it kind of Class living in Texas. I'm in Kentucky, and you know, Dirty's in Washington. So you know, as far as being able like to rehearse and you know, we can't do all that. Like some groups are, you know, like AXE, they all basically live in the same vicinity, and you know, they have the luxury of being able to like do band practice and you know, studio together, and you know, it makes it a little more challenging. But obviously, you know, you listen to Anomaly 88, it's a super. Both projects were super dope. But you know, we obviously communicated through it, but you know, some a lot of the stuff was recorded separately, and but yeah, I mean, definitely, you know, riding together on tour and being around each other a whole lot more. Yeah, of course we you know, bonded closer, and it's been a cool experience.
It was like I was saying, man. Like it took us a couple of shows to kind of get the kinks out. You know, because you're working with three dudes who are all separate entities. We all have our own way of performing. We all have our own way of doing things. But you're gonna put all three of those on stage and not have a chance really to ever practice it. Literally, it's just like we're going on tour. Here we are. So the first couple shows, it was like trying to gauge how we wanted to do it. But like at this point, dude, it's good now, man. Like it's grown. like it looks good. Like I mean, we're hitting each other's marks and shit. Like it's just like it's a good overall show and feeling. You know, coming from a place where we never really get to talk about it besides through text or you know whatever to where it is right now. So
Yeah, it was just a situation, you know, putting three alpha dogs in the same backyard. And you know, we're all used to having our own separate yards, and like you know, they just threw us in this one yard, so we just kind of had to figure it out. But it just took a couple shows, and you know, you can tell by the crowd, especially everybody's really feeling the performances. So you know, all three of us have our own separate stage presence, and you know, we bring it to the show.
Right on. And obviously, I mean, I haven't seen you on the show, but I saw it the last time, and they were fucking dope. So. Okay, so on the first album, you had like what I'm gonna call epic songs. You had the Exit Wounds, right? Had tons of people on it. On Anomaly 88, you had Thanos, right? Fucking pretty much raised the bar on that aspect. So if you gotta do another album, I mean, how are you gonna top that?
We've talked about that. I mean,
yeah, I mean, I don't think you tried to top it. I mean, I think you know we basically use the resources we have, you know. I mean, he's made a lot of friends in this industry. I've made a lot of friends in this industry. Dave has a lot of people he knows in this industry. I think you just, you know, you kind of use your resources and try to do something. But I don't think it's something that even if we made another album, like I don't feel like it's something we would have to do. Like I like that we did Exit Wounds, you know, super dope, and I love that we did Thanos, but I don't feel like. You know, I feel like if that's the only thing that people, you know, fucking are looking for from us, then they're missing the rest of, you know, because the rest of the album is actually really dope, both albums. You know, like, I don't, you know, if people are just literally looking for us to have one song at the end that has a bunch of people they love, then I think they're missing the point. You know, so I don't know if we actually have to do another song like that. If we were going to do it, I mean, I'd be totally down just to go back to like underground cats that we did, like people that we enjoy listening to their music, basically.
Yeah, you know, like when we did Exit Wounds, we all basically kind of like reached out to our, you know, I remember like just off the top of my head, like Class brought like ROC to the table on that. He brought Scum to the table. You know, there were some other tunnel runners, like just kind of each one of us just like reached out to, you know, different people that we fucked with, and it just kind of everybody that we reached out to on that song, everybody made it on there. There was actually two other artists that we tried to get on there. One of them was Low Key, and Low Key just couldn't. I think he was just so busy. He initially said yes, he'd fuck with it, and just I think he just got like so busy. I think he just probably overlooked it. Which, you know, I'm a lot cooler with Loke now, but back then I was the one that reached out to him, and we knew each other, but we didn't like communicate a lot. But then Killa C from Grave Plot was somebody else that I'd reached out to, and he couldn't get in the studio by the deadline. But everybody else that we asked, everybody was just like, hell yeah. And then like the same thing with Thanos. We just kind of reached out. We got relationships with different artists, and everybody that we reached out to was a hell yes, except for like the Light situation, or whatever. But I mean, Light wanted to do it, but just politics stopped that from happening. But everybody that we asked was like, hell yeah. And especially when we're telling everybody who all is going to be on it, everybody was like super excited about Thanos, and like Seven crushed that beat. I'm a huge posse track fan. I've been doing posse tracks on my albums for many years, and just something cool that we were able to put together, that especially with the magnitude of artists, you don't really see posse tracks with that caliber of artists. So it was kind of cool to that we are in the underground, but we brought a lot of the juggernauts from the underground together. I mean, Tech's kind of on a different level, but Tech has more love for the underground than people think. Obviously he wouldn't have done it. He did that shit out of love, like straight up. Like Tech's, I know Tech's music is taking a different path. He's reaching a different audience, but like Tech hasn't forgot where he came from, for sure.
Right. Yeah. Sorry.
No. But that, like I'm saying, I don't necessarily know if we have to do another one.
Sure. I agree with him though. Like the posse cut thing, I kind of grew up with that too.
And maybe I just think at this point it's like, no matter who we go to and do it, it's gonna come out. Like we've shown, we can go to underground artists, and we can still make a really dope fucking track. And we can go to Indian, on the cusp of major artists, and still can be a really dope track. So, who knows which direction? Maybe we'll try to go get Jay-Z or something. Who knows? We'll see.
Right, that'd be wild.
See. Right
on. Yeah. So I mean, I just have to say, me personally, I fucking love the album since I got it. Just been bumping it like crazy. You know what I mean?
What was your favorite track song? I'm gonna interview you real quick.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Thanos stands out obviously for me just because some of other favorite rappers are on that song. Yeti Cup. I even made my own. I do customs, so I made my own personal Yeti Cup UGA style.
I showed you it.
Oh, that was
yeah. So I mean, that's dope. I mean, Bring the Blood's fucking badass track. You know what I mean? Damn, it's all around a pretty fucking badass album. You know what I mean? So
we were worried. I was worried. I can't speak for them, but the first one was like such a cult classic with the underground. I was just like, how are we gonna top that? Because that whole nostalgia thing, man. People love that. So me as an artist, I'm always wanting to step my game up, and like I want everything that comes out after to always be a step up and better. And we were just like, how the hell are we gonna top that? Everybody loved that. And like,
it's a weird place to be.
Trying
to come up with a new album when one that you did 6 years ago
and we're all in different states too.
That still has such a threshold. Like people still gravitate to it. 6-7 years later, and now you're making a new album and trying to, consider what to fucking do. But I mean, like,
and we did that whole thing in like 2 months?
Yeah, that's why there's like, if people notice though, that's why there's I wouldn't really say similarities. I might say more like odes. There's like odes to the first album on this album. Like if you're really paying attention, there's shit we do on this album that's directly related to what we did on the first album, because it's hard to try to appease an audience that's already built themselves. Like we didn't build that audience. Like we put out an album, doing a project together, and like that shit built itself. Like the fact that it's still popular today is because people it became like folklore, So trying to do an album that appeases that, but then you become part of Majik, and they've got their own built-in fan base. So you're trying to do something for people that may have never fucking heard of you. It becomes like me and this dude probably talked like fucking 400 times during the process of making the album, dude, because it's just like it's a hard thing to do. Like there's a small bit of nervousness in creating the album because you don't know, you want to appease everybody, but it's like, well, how do you fucking do that, you know? So, but I think we, in the end we pulled it off pretty decently, you know.
I agree. Yeah, we're all like very proud of that project.
Yeah, fuck it, I'm super proud.
Hey, does Boondox really not know what a Yeti cup was?
I know. I don't think he actually does, dude.
Really? Okay.
He legitimately asked what one was. No, that's not a fake thing, dude. That line is probably the dopest line in the entire song because it's the most truthful line in the whole fucking
When we
process.
first heard his verse, we both started laughing.
Yeah.
Like literally, like I had an idea. Well, originally that track, like we kind of tried to split up the tracks. Like, Claas, you come up with some ideas for this one. You know, we wanted to like evenly spread the ideas. So that beat, you know, Seven made that beat, and the beat was super dope. And you know, we told Boondox, like, you know, you come up with what direction do you think we should go with it. And like, he didn't come with anything on it, or he just, you know, didn't have any ideas. And I actually had an idea for it, but I was just trying to like spread the wealth of letting everybody. I was like, well, I got this idea, and I was like, you know, why don't we make it like a party drinking theme song called Yeti Cup? And he was like, okay, that's cool, but what's a Yeti Cup?
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you fucking serious, bro?
Legitimately had no fucking clue what a Yeti cup
I'm like,
was, bro.
you watch football and you're from Georgia and you don't know what a Yeti Cup? I just assumed everybody knew what a Yeti Cup. I thought he was fucking with me. I mean, like, Yeti Cup is like the Nike of those cups.
Right. Yeah.
And like, the song really doesn't have anything to do with the Yeti Cup. It was an excuse to make a drinking party song, but then it turned into something bigger. And but no, I thought, well, unless he was fucking with me and just played the kayfabe with it.
Yeah, he could have totally kayfabed us, bro. Like, it's hard to read him.
He's such an intelligent person. Like, he's like,
yeah,
he's way more intelligent than he puts off sometimes. So like, sometimes I don't know if he's fucking with me on
he
shit.
should just
Like,
but according to him, he didn't. But he could have just been saying that, and then he fucking hit us with that line.
I still don't believe him, but I think he knew what it was. But that's my opinion.
Yeah, I had
It makes
ask.
for a funny thing though when he hits that line in that song. It makes for some hilarity.
Yeah, there's a lot of nostalgia behind that for sure.
Right on. So 2019. Anything else from Underground Avengers solo work?
As far as UGA, that's something we're not going to talk about right now for 2019. But I know as far as Bukshot is concerned, I do got something coming out next year, and I can't really talk about it. It's something that I've been alluding to for a while now. But I know, like, you know, on social media, I've been hashtagging threes, and I've been talking about something that happens every 3 years, and only one person has actually caught on to what's going on, which I'm not going to say I was shocked, but I don't know, some people don't put things together so brightly, but this one guy on social media, he called out dates, and he knew. And I was like, wow, okay, like, there's people really paying attention. But yeah, I got something big happening next year. So that the fans are not going to be expecting, but they're going to be very, very appreciative of you know.
Yeah. You know how comics go. You know, they always say to be continued. So you never know what. Maybe 7 more years. Who knows, bro? You know.
I mean, we said 6 years ago there wasn't going to, you know, it was just probably not going to happen, and
you know,
it shocked us just as much as the fans that UGA happened again. So
we're literally always working. You know, so who knows? I mean, I've got another album I'll be working on through LSP for some time next year, maybe early next year. We'll see. I don't really have a timetable on it, but I have been working on it. So we'll see how it goes. And if I'm not mistaken, I know Dirty has a couple projects that he's still working on too with Majik. So, I mean, at all times, you're going to get shit from all three of us at any given time, and then we'll see what the future holds for the group. You know, the group's mysterious. It's gotta stay mysterious.
I mean, it's an anomaly.
It's an anomaly.
That's right. Right on.
It's gotta stay that way.
And no, we're not Nazis.
Oh Jesus.
Oh God.
Yeah.
That's like the dumbest shit I ever fucking heard.
Look at him. You think we're Nazis?
You know, here's the funny thing though. Like, in all reality, if you listen to the very last, the Finn, the very last skit, it basically alludes to what the title means. If you're paying attention, and it's like a puzzle. If you're really paying attention to what is said in that last one, you piece it together, you can figure out what the title means. The title's a puzzle in itself. Like it's always again, dude. Like the whole Underground Avenger thing. Like when we first thought about it, like it was cool, like a comic aspect. You know, Avengers were hot at the time. You know, that movie had just came out. Cool.
And we're all
But, like,
comic nerds.
But now it's gotten to a point where, like, legitly, like, he took a lot of time. Like literally, Buck took a lot of time to come up with a premise, and it's like a really it's got like deep ties, and it's a fucking giant story, like a comic inside of this album. Like if you really listen to the album and pay attention to it,
The skits.
there's a lot of shit in there that ties a lot of other stuff together, including what the actual title of the album means, like why it's called Anomaly 88. Like it's explained in there, but just in rhetoric that doesn't just outright tell you. You have to figure it out yourself. Like any good story, you have to build your conclusion, choose your path.
The skits say more than people think they do. Like, people need to go back and revisit the skits because there's a lot of hidden Easter eggs that people aren't even putting together.
Yeah, because I'll be honest, I'm a skipper.
Yeah, now
If
you listen to the skits, they tell you a lot. Like we're methodical. We're a methodical fucking, especially us two. We talk all the time, and like we're both comic fans. We're movie fans. We're very methodical. Just like the whole aspect, like the hero and villain thing. Like the album, it doesn't really tell you. We don't really tell you. Like we don't explain it. We talk about both ends of it. It's like a comic. Like you don't really know, what we are as a group.
There was nothing random put in those skits.
No, everything has purpose.
Every number, there's something behind all of it.
Yeah.
Like
We've been hoping that somebody would, but we're not going to fucking just tell, like what's the point in that? But I truly hope somebody does fucking figure it out. I hope so.
And like if people figured out what 88 meant, like we discussed, it's not like, we did something 88 times. Like what that number means, if it ever comes to light what it means, there's no way we could have made it up. It's like so precise. Like there's no way anybody could ever make that up.
It's not a random number. Those two numbers
Not at all.
It's a methodical number that's based on the group. It's a methodical number about the group. The whole title is a title that basically explains the group within the skits. You just gotta listen. You gotta listen harder. Figure it out.
Listen to the skits.
Don't skip the skits.
Right, yeah, I'll have to stop now.
Plus, they're interesting. Even if you're not trying to figure out the Easter eggs in them, they're just cool. Man. It's like watching a Transformers or a comic book movie. It's just, we've got some ideas for the future, but it has to play itself out organically. We're not going to push UGA out. We're going to let it happen just as natural as this happened. When it's ready to happen again, it'll happen.
And just like last time, if people want it to happen, by all means,
If maybe we forced it,
Put it out
if
there.
it came out in 3 years instead of 6, it might not have been what Anomaly 88 was. Like, I think that's a very special album. And, when and if it happens again, I'm sure it's going to be special. Because I know the ideas I've got in my head for it, and what him and I talked about, like, I feel like the story's far from over. So,
to be continued. ...
Right on. Hey, you guys are fucking dope. Any shout outs?
Shout out to everyone that supported us for the last fucking 6-7 years, dude. The whole reason this is even fucking happening is because
can you all just fucking wait your turn? Alazul, Elu. You're next. Fuck that.
The whole reason this is even happening is because there's a core group of motherfuckers that never wanted to let this die and wanted to see something else. Obviously, I'm happy we're back in this city, in Dallas, Fort Worth, because, real talk, that show in Dallas, Fort Worth is what legitimately put this back on the fucking map So, you know.
No,
Shout out to
that's
all
some
of them, dude.
that's some real shit though. Like, I tweeted about this on the way here, but like, all this shit really started with right here, because, you know, we did that UGA show back in April, and it was kind of like just a out of the blue thing, and
It's been a fucking whirlwind since
it
then.
snowballed into 3 days after the show. George hit us up, was like, "Hey man, you know, you all had a big crowd out there for not doing anything in 6 years. Like, what's up?" And just,
Everything's history at this point, man.
I will put something out on Front Street that most people, I don't think we've ever went public with this, but the song Killer Instinct was recorded before that phone call.
Yeah.
Yeah, we recorded Killer Instinct. Nobody knew about that song until after the M&E announcement. But that song we actually did on our own. And then, you know, we let George and Paul and Jamie heard it, and we're like, fuck yeah. But yeah, that song is just something we were doing for the fans. You
Another
know.
dope song, by the way.
Oh yeah,
Shout out to everybody that's
it's
enjoying
one of our
this.
favorites too.
The positivity and the love for this album has been nothing short of fucking incredible, dude. So, you know, shout out to everybody representing Avengers, everybody representing Majik Ninja and supporting and fucking with us because of it.
For sure, yeah. Shout out to fucking Majik Ninja for fucking with this.
Yeah,
Because
Mike.
we don't know where this would be. You know, we recorded a song that turned into something totally different, but you know, if it wasn't for them seeing the same vision that we had, you know, you all just might have got Killer Instinct, and that just might have been it.
Shout out to Interview Under Fire. You know, I love you guys.
Okay. Yeah, appreciate you guys.
You used to call me on my. You used to.